Hello YouTube, welcome back to Coleford Plays Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. My name is Coleford, this is Danganronpa. We are about to get started with a class trial. I'm very, very excited to do so. Figure out the murderer of Chihiro Fujisaki, figure out who among us might be Genocide Jack. Lots of mysteries afoot that we have to solve, but first, let's set our skills. Increases the time limit for each phase effective during the class trial. Yes, we'll equip all skills that we have, if we can. Bodhi's voice, so we only have those 3 right now. Alright. Are we ready to tackle Chihiro Fujisaki's class trial? I think we are. All rise.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay then. So, first off, let's talk about the murder weapon!
Isn't that just super easy? Why is he guiding us to the murder weapon? Yeah. What?
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
I agree with that.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been? I bet it was an iron pipe.
No, that's wrong.
Oh, you idiot.
Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell, found at the scene of the crime?
Nice, finishing Infamous 1.
It was
Infamous 1 is
covered in
so
blood.
good. Infamous 2, I think, is
And there was
worlds better.
nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell. As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
You looked at her head wound?
Yes! That's so creepy!
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here.
Very nice.
Let's move on to discussion of the culprit.
Nova, I'm so happy that we're also trophy hunter
Although,
friends.
I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
I need to find a good game to trophy hunt in. I'm
For
thinking
real?
about trophy hunting in one of the
Chihiro's
Danganronpas,
killer
but I don't
is
know which one I want to trophy hunt in necessarily.
Fiendish
I gotta play through
serial
them all to see
killer,
which one is like the best one.
Genocide Jack.
A new element has been added to non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? Yes. White noise. Okay. Press the X button to attach the silencer we can use to shoot down white noise. I do believe we're on kind, not gentle, so we should have white noise.
The culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
That's wrong.
No, that's wrong. I might know one reason he could be involved.
Ooh, that would be tons of fun. I still haven't played Ghost of Tsushima yet, so.
I found this file. while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
That would be tons of fun.
That's kind of
Nova.
weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth, so let's forget about that for now. More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be two defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case. The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
No.
Lust.
It's actually bloodlust.
But more important is the other characteristic, and it's something that has never been made public.
Never made public? What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
Is it that they were strung up?
I got it!
Yes, it was.
Apparently, in every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way. Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way. So, how did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials were aware of it? There's
See what
only
he's guiding
one
us to.
logical answer I can think of. It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
No fucking way!
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Yes, in fact, it's Toko.
What?
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
Okay, I thought we were going to take a little bit longer to get there, but I agree with that.
What? Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has, like, bloodophobia or whatever, remember? What kind of
Isn't it like
serial
hemophobia?
killer is afraid of blood?
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Another riddle.
Yakuya took a lot of charge in this case, actually. He was like, let's be partners for this investigation, but a riddle for sure, but I'm sure I understand it. That means for Genocide Jack to be Toko, but to not be Toko. She's not just one person, but multiple people. Don't give me a Hangman's Gambit. Don't give me a Hangman's Gambit. No! Schizo? Okay, I don't like the use of the word schizo here,
Now I
but
understand.
it's fine, I guess.
Is it because Genocide Jack has a split
Genocide
personality?
Jack is schizo.
Huh?
Excuse me?
I think I read that somewhere in the file, too. They thought that the suspect might have... what did they call it? Dissociative
Okay, but having
identity
to spell
disorder.
schizo versus dissociative identity disorder is a lot easier.
Okay.
I will say.
But still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
Her behavior changed, or she fainted. Her
I
behavior.
got it! You're talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right?
That's right. Think back. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up,
Yeah, I agree.
She was acting funny, that's for sure.
I mean, this game came out at a different time and place, right? We have to remember that.
Don't go
Like, what was okay back then and what's okay now to like, use in a game and use for like. I don't
Not
even
to
know if I
mention,
use it for.
once she
I don't think it
regained
was necessarily used
consciousness
for
and saw
comedy,
Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm.
Just a different time and
In
place.
other words, within her is one personality that can handle blood, and one that obviously can't.
Yeah, you go face.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from getting out.
That's what I agree with, yes.
What?
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her. Of killing even more people.
How? Yeah. How can you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time. And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
What?
You promised! I can't believe you lied!
You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to.
Yakuya, dishing out the hardcore.
This is the real world.
I don't even know what to
Not some
say.
romantic fantasy fairy tale.
F-boy energy.
Besides, you broke your promise first. You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone. But in spite of that promise,
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me. That's the only reason I promised.
how many times do I have to tell you? I never said that. But you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing, could you?
I tried. I swear I tried to control it.
Does he hate her though? I don't know if he hates her.
But your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
I hate you.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
The person you don't mean.
They got a summoner. Is my favorite song gonna play? Yes. Oh God.
Hello there! Is it me you were hoping to see? What the heck? So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
What the fuck is this?
I thought it was Blood that had to summon her. I don't know how they summoned her.
Not Toko. That's a loser name. And what happened is a textbook split personality. So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to
sneezes.
one's fault.
So intense.
Like they say, sound in murderous mind, sound in murderous body.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a
Just
frontal
imagine
fact.
switching back and forth between the murderous fiend and
Just like how
book
every
writer
inning has a
extraordinaire on
top
the
and a bottom, or
spring out in
how in the
front.
depths of every truth lives a little lie. Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you, I am the mastermind of all masterminds!
Let's not get into other games, Nova, because I don't want anything spoiled for me. I'm scared.
It's not true?
Of course it's not true! How
Still haven't
dare
played
you
Ultra
try
Star
to
Girls yet.
link me to that creepazoid? And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally
I'm waiting to do them
powerless.
in like the natural order. So 1, 2,
They
Ultra
just
Despair
let
Girls
this
3.
idiotic, bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town!
Well, I did kind of jump to 2 first,
Sure, I'm a
but
bloodthirsty
I'm gonna
maniac,
go back to 2.
but life
so.
is pain,
1,
right?
2,
To
Ultra
live
Despair Girls
is
3.
to hurt other people. It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone. Just kidding again!
Overall volume a bit lower.
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death. There's clearly a motive, so there should
Okay.
be no doubt.
Thank you for the tidbit, Nova.
Motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed. Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting.
We'll see.
But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
Oh, okay, there you go.
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
Maybe so,
I
maybe
agree
so,
she's
but
genocide.
nevertheless, it's
Obviously,
the
she's
truth.
genocide Jill. But
Do you
I
really
disagree with her being the
expect any of
murderer.
us to believe you?
I think there's a few things to go with the case that
Yeah.
need solving
I
still.
could never believe a word you say, you monster!
Because they said Genocide Jill's very picky about how she murders, and there's a lot of inconsistencies between the murder case we have now.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone!
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an
Now, this
alibi,
skill, it steadies
that
her aim,
would
is so
change
nice.
things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking!
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely. What more proof
What?
do we need? Give it up. You killed her.
Sorry, but I didn't...
You say that, but
Perhaps if you had an
Oh, an alibi!
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely.
No, it does not, unfortunately, Byakuya. That is wrong.
Are the methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How's it any different?
Uh-oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you! I murder with passion and conviction. I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. And Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to
Comparing to
Chihiro?
murders to a fancy Italian
It'd be
restaurant.
like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee.
I wonder if they'd get permission to say Chef Boyardee.
of mine.
Wow. Was not expecting a Chef Boyardee
Let
reference.
me rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
The victim's fatal injury, the style, the victim's fatal injury. That's different.
For one, the cause of death is different.
She
In the
she
Genocide
stabbed her.
Jack murders, all the victims were killed
Stabbed
the
them with
same way.
scissors.
According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors. But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method? And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right. In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini,
I like tortellini.
then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce.
Pesto sauce. Ugh.
Please stop comparing killing people to cooking. So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
They're talking about the extension cord versus the scissors, right? What was used to suspend her?
Do you remember what the killer used to
Nova,
suspend her?
you gotta chill a little bit because I
They
gotta
used some kind
figure
of
some
rope
stuff for
to
my
hang her up
figure
by
some
her
stuff out for
wrists.
myself. You're kind of spoiling a little bit for me.
What is your point?
Well, in all the
I do want you to
previous
comment, but
Genocide
just like
Jack
try to keep
cases,
it
something else was used to
spoiler
suspend
free.
them. Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
Oh, for me it showed up like right before I said it. I don't know. I don't know how that worked. That was
Specially
weird. Though.
designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement.
Maybe I didn't notice it, but
Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else? Big Mac said there's two differences.
Big
but
Mac.
he's wrong.
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
Huh?
My word, you really didn't notice?
oh, this is what you were
Who the
talking
victims
about.
were in each Genocide Jack case. There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
A pattern?
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Chihiro was a girl. Was her friend, was her lover. Chihiro's a girl.
I got it! Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
Lots of guy
They were
names.
all guys?
That's right! The people I kill with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men! I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
The hell is wrong with you?
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl, and the mopey side of me just hates it. But
So since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man,
Adorable little man coming from Taka's mouth.
Would an Italian
Sounds so
chef
funny.
suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to it. It's a different matter entirely, when you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lowly cur!
Lowly? Cur?
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect!
That does make some amount of sense.
Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Could she even lift it though? That's my question.
Use the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school.
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class envy of the entire world scissors!
okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that? Da-da-da-da!
Where did she get those?
She's fully equipped. That's right, so I can kill anywhere, anytime.
Okay.
Why would I resort to
Well,
dumbbells
she's
or
getting
rope
taken
when I
out.
have my trusty
There's
scissors
no
by
way
my
they let
side?
her live.
Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong. You can you, gutter dogs, all of you. Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. So rope's totally out of the question anyway.
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or whatever.
There is one person who knew. Welcome back. The person guiding this conversation along.
Here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you?
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
Then the reason you pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Oh, I'm on
The adorable glasses
Well,
man.
Byakuya,
Does that mean I wear my glasses? Am I the adorable glasses man?
I see. So
I'm not
now
wearing
the
my glasses
suspicion
right now.
falls on me. Then I
Sorry.
must ask.
I'm not
When
rocking
would
the
you
full
say I
Byakuya
began
cosplay
acting
then.
suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
Why would he pick the girls' locker room to start?
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
That's very strange, actually.
On the contrary, there's something very strange.
Okay then, what's so strange about it? Go ahead, share with the rest of the class.
He knew who the victim was. New element has been added to non-stop debates. Truth flashback. Memorize the weak spot. Okay.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird...
If you're presented with the opportunity...
Is it before we found the body with this one?
The victim was Chihiro.
Yeah, before we found the body with that.
I'll tell you what's so strange about that. Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was. So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Huh?
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead, show us.
Hey, what is with this attitude? I don't know. I don't understand Byakuya this chapter. He's been acting very weird. Just all of it.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
Not all of a sudden, but the whole chapter he's been acting strange.
There is. I think.
There is more to it. Think about it. We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
What does she mean? The differences between this case and other Genocide Jack murders. Evidence that proves Byakuya is responsible is hidden in there. Oh, I think I see it. Okay, just one truth bullet, I guess.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again? When I
think I did.
killed, I used my very own special scissors.
I don't even
used
memorize
those same
that.
scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
No, it's wrong.
Wrong. Because he got it from the library. It was the extension cord from the library.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
And Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right? What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes,
He's
that's
confusing
what
the shit
happened.
out of me.
So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
I got it! You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right?
That should have been impossible for him
Are
to
you
get in there,
sure
right?
about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown.
All right,
She was
Byakuya,
found
calm
dead
down.
in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene? That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
I believe I do.
Oh, I forgot about
Hey, don't just move on without permission.
Hold on.
What do you mean she was killed somewhere
I'm gathering
else?
my thoughts about all this.
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
The posters, right? And the carpet, I think, but we'll say the posters.
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
I got it!
Yeah, I was gonna pick the wrong one.
The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think? What? In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body.
So they moved the entire scene
By doing
with the
this,
body.
the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go to all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place? To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook
Did Chihiro
across the
take
card reader
the
device.
break
But
her handbook
Chihiro's
and take the
handbook
one from the
should
main
have
hall?
only allowed her access to
Someone
the girls'
someone
locker
did.
room. She
Someone
had
broke
no
their
way
handbook
to get into the
and
boys'
switched it
locker
with
room
one in
to
the main
begin
hall.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
Alright,
I
Hiro.
highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Yeah, broken e-handbook.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook! She was the ultimate programmer, after all.
I don't think it's hacking
Sure,
the
that would
e-handbook.
have been no problem for
Broken
her.
e-handbook.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
I missed. No, I didn't miss. But I agree that she could have used.
I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why couldn't she have used Leon's handbook?
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh.
But how do we know
Well,
it's
then,
Leon's
yeah,
handbook?
I guess that'd be
Broken.
pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup, yup, yup! Hit the nail square on the noggin!
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
Psst! You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook...
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just... wrong?
Hey,
It seems like there's no way she
let's
could
not
have
call
got
me
into
wrong.
the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
It can't be Byakuya.
Hold on a second. I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So...
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
She can't get in with somebody else.
What?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
What?
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
For real?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
The girls' locker room?
Alright. Well, because I want to do another stream tomorrow, I'm going to save, and we're going to figure out what Kyoko wants to show us then. I'm going to tease it. Make sure I can load this. Class trial interrupted. Okay. Sort of a short stream, but at least we know now that we think Byakuya is not, at least I don't think Byakuya is the killer. I think there's a lot more to this trial than there appears to be, and we'll find out more tomorrow or Wednesday. Thank you guys for joining us, YouTube. If you appreciated this episode of Coleford Plays Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, please like, comment, and subscribe in the YouTube comment section located right down below. It truly means a lot to us when you decide to do so. Your feedback, good and bad, goes to making these episodes the best they possibly can be. We always appreciate hearing from you. Thank you, YouTube. Bye, YouTube.